It's
said,
hot
long
here.
as this AC on. Long as AC on, it's fucking burning. Shit.
Hey, everybody, you're tuned into Let's Straighten It Out, and I am your host, Simone, but simply Simone with Larrington, and I'm having an issue with this daggone bun, and it's been one hell of a day, so please excuse me because it is hella crooked, and right now I do not care. Hey, Elle, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Y'all see this bun, though? Don't say nothing about my bun.
I had a hard day today.
I am not playing.
A hard day. No.
You had a hard day today? Me too. So I had to go.
Yeah, work.
Yeah. So I finally got work. Well, I was working from home. I hate working from home. I thought I would love it, but I hate it. So I finally got work. I start Monday in an office. I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about that. This bun is about to drive me nuts. And I had to go to the doctor today because I have a sciatic nerve and it acts up and swells my feet out. So the doctor tells me, well, you may have gout. I'm like, I don't understand how I can have gout.
You may have gout.
But yeah, like what is gout? Why should I have gout? What is wrong with me that I have gout? So that's a whole nother thing I have to talk about, go to the doctor for tomorrow, not for you guys, what gout is and how it affects us as a people. I always want to find those things out. So I'm gonna do my research on that. And I'll get back to that, but I don't understand what gout is, and it's hella hot here in Atlanta.
Well, maybe you look it up. You find exactly what you need to work with it.
Well,
if you do got it,
you know what? Let me tell you what I do know. I don't eat fried foods at all, right? And lately, you see me playing this bun. Lately, I have been eating fried foods, and I'm thinking that might have something to do with my diet has changed tremendously. So I'm trying to get back on track. I spoke to you about that, and you're helping me get back on track. So that's a go. It's definitely a go. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
But so that's that. So this is where these band-aids come from. They gave me shot for the inflammation. I tell you, my foot looked like this. My big toe was swollen. I couldn't walk. I was limping. I couldn't do nothing. I could not move. They gave me a shot of Tuinol, and then they gave me a shot of steroids to get the inflammation down. When I say with the mess, it was a mess. And that's how my week has been with me lately.
I try my best.
Uh-huh.
I try my best not to do anything. I try to do everything natural. I mean, honest, I try. Even if I'm sick and I take the symptoms, I ask the doctor and they tell me what to give me. Then I say, okay, no problem. I look at something natural to try to do it. That's just me, because I think it's better. I just really think it's better. I think everything on earth is made for us, besides the pills they give it. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes you might need a pill. I'm not saying you don't never need a pill. Sometimes you might need a pill for a minute, but I always think earth gives you everything you need.
Yeah.
Mother Nature gives everything you need. You just gotta figure out what they got to give you.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Yeah, I think we had this conversation before, before all this westernization and before manufacturing of foods, everything we got was from the earth. So everything from the earth is natural and the best thing for us. That's how people ate. Well, what God created, what He put on here for us to survive off of. So to revert back to that, I think is a good thing. It's a very good thing.
I don't know if my thing's delayed because I hear you breaking up. Mine sound look good, but I don't know if mine's delayed and I don't know. I went outside to make sure I wasn't around my Wi-Fi, so I see maybe a little better, but I don't know. And last week wasn't like this. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna try to listen.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to listen and try to respond.
And I'm gonna turn this up a little louder for you then. I hate saying let me change that. I want to say something really quick because I know last week we was doing relationships and this week was definitely going to be about relationships, but I had to flip the script somewhat because
Tongue said
I wanted to change the narrative a little bit. I said I needed to change the narrative a little bit because of the senseless killings and murders that were happening here in Atlanta from July 4th. And then I did my homework And in New York as well, like 39 murders, if I have that correct, in New York. If anybody's watching and listening, let me know if I have this right for New York. There was a lot of senseless murders around July 4th, us against our own people. And it really bothered me because we have such a great movement going on now. We have our foot on the gas right now, but getting the recognition or the attention or the somewhat of an understanding of what we've been fighting for. And now here comes this. And it just really broke my heart to hear about this little girl here in Georgia, 8 years old, Sequoia. I cried. It broke my heart. And it's a young dude that they didn't find him, but they have a picture of him toting, I don't know what, AK, I don't know what it is, the long rifles, some type of gun, I don't know, but I just looked at it and I was like, this can't be, this is too much. It was too much for me. It really was. And I really needed to speak about that and bring that to the forefront. Like, my heart is broken. We got to do better. This bun got to do better. We got to do better as a people, and it broke my heart. So for anyone who's listening, I'm sorry, really quick. If anyone who's listening that thought this episode was going to be about relationships, I do apologize, but I think we have a more serious issue at hand. And I really need to get that off my chest. I need to speak what's on my heart about it, because I was really taken aback by that so many deaths have happened by the hands of us. So how many times can I might not be like for what I'm about to say, but you can't blame everybody all the time for the shit we do to ourselves. We can't. I'm looking at it this way. Other people, other races are looking at it that way. So when do we hold ourselves accountable for the foolery? Am I making sense?
Huh?
That makes sense to you? Am I making sense?
Yes, it makes sense. And the bad thing about it is this weekend, me, Rob, went to the park, Warnish Park. All the guys was out there trying to do all the dudes, and having a lot of talking and what we could do to better our community and all that. I came in late. It was Sunday, but I came in late now, but I listened to them, and they said nobody showed up, but the older people, the guards, and no young generation showed up at all.
Really?
And I told them, I said, well, you understand, once you was a young generation too. So you need incentive. You need incentive to bring them to the park, to talk to them. You don't give them incentive, they're not coming. You got to say something to bring them there. Then they might listen. Not everybody might don't get it, but then they might listen. But if you don't do that, they're not coming. Because I said, when I was young, nobody could tell me to go nowhere off the streets. And the sister's shooting. What really bugs me, I'll be honest, what really bugs me, you doing fireworks. Why you got to shoot up a gun? Now if you got beef, if you got beef with somebody, why you gonna shoot? Why you gonna shoot in the crowd with a bunch of kids? And I can't. There's no reason. I can't say nothing about it. Why you gonna shoot? For you to do that, that means you want that dude that bad. You're no more for a kid. And that's oh my God. I mean, but I can't say nothing about it. I don't know what was happening because I wasn't there on neither one of them. But I just know it was senseless, and it was really messed up. Takes little kid life. That might be in a president, it might be something, but I can definitely say what we're trying to do in Wyandanch is trying to change in Amityville. We're trying to change the narrative with our young youth, and maybe all these other hoods will do the same thing. And I know a lot of hoods are trying to do it, but that's the only way you're gonna stop some of the violence. But it's gonna be so hard of doing it because every hood is different, and you might get to a few people. How you can get to everybody to change overnight? A lot of people been doing this stuff for years, and they're teaching their kids to be doing it for years. I've seen kids that's 6 years old, repping Bloods, repping Crips. So that's all they learn. That's all they know. It's messed up. It is what it is, but it's messed up. But that's something that I say is a process change. It's a process of change, and it's hard to change it overnight, basically.
I have no idea what's going on.
So what you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
What with Rob? Rob ain't coming on today?
Yeah. 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 You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. I think about what you said, so I want to double back to what you said, that we were young ones too. And we were. And there's a whole lot of stuff that we did that we shouldn't have did. I just think as of late, and these years later, that there's such a deep disrespect or lack of care for someone's life. Like these younger kids today, they place no value on life or anyone else's life, and it really it hurts my soul. It really does. I don't even know what to say about it, because I'm just devastated by it all. My heart goes out to a lot of things. I see a lot of things. I read up on a lot of things. I talk to people, and it affects me, emotionally. It really, really does affect me as a human, and I want to find a way to help, or understand, but as they say, the whole, this world is lying in the hands of the wicked one. You know what I mean? This is we need healing. All I can say is that we need healing, and I really want to find a way to help that. Hi, Esther. How are you? Hi, Chi. How are you? Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much. Hey, I'm good. Thank you. We have a mental health professional coming on. Her name is Sheryll Roberts. She's been here before, so she's going to join us. She's going to come in from work, so she'll be here shortly. She'll log in shortly to the show. It just really, really bothered me. That's why I can honestly keep saying, like, I'm bothered by it. I'm bothered by how we could get somewhere close to a couple of steps and so quickly take 20 steps backwards. And it's not all of us. It's the ones that choose to stay, for me personally, choose to stay ignorant. Choose to stay with the shackles on their minds. Just choose to stay in a place that we don't no longer need to be. We don't have to be oppressed. We have been oppressed people, but we do not have to stay oppressed. We just don't. In our thinking, in our behavior, and how we move forward, we don't have to be those type of people, and I just want us to do better. That's my thing. I want us to do better and take pride in who we are. You know what I mean, Elle? How do you feel about that?
I listen. I know what you're saying, but I'm always looking like it's still go back what we was talking about earlier a long time ago. Is go back to how the kids was raised. It goes back to what type of hood it is. Cause I'm watching Windage. I've been Windage. I'm watching when I was in Windage on the street, and now I'm watching kids that was with me when it was kids in the streets. They had no father and mother. So think about it. I had a father and mother. You had no mother and father. But I'm watching them. They had no father and mother at 12 years old. When it's not everybody. Don't think I'm paying attention to everybody. But I'm watching some kids that had no father and mother at 12 years old selling drugs. That wasn't even me. But I'm watching selling drugs. So where's their guidance at? Where's the love at? So we put a love to a gang member or whatever people are saying is love there. And some people gravitate to that because their parents wasn't living in life.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Then he tells his little brother or his cousin, and it follows, and it's a following thing. I call it, me Tone was talking about that, me Andy King was talking about that. I call things a person said they call it I can't say exact word, but I'm saying this. If 4 cattle go that way, it's like a herd. 4 cattle go that way, the whole herd go that way. You know what I'm saying? So if they follow, if I'm following, that's the thing, the problem with people. I'm a person that I gotta understand, I gotta learn, but a lot of people is a follower. You don't know, but a lot of people follow the herd. Everybody go that way, everybody gonna the cows go that way. Oh, everybody gonna follow that way. That's my opinion. How you doing? Hello? That's
Hi, Sheryll. Let me unmute you.
Yeah, so that's my I'm trying my best to try to learn the young kids. I mean, next week they're doing it every Sunday now. They're doing every Sunday coming down there to the Windage, to the park, and to the youth center, and talking to the young people, trying to get them up there, trying to change their thought. Amityville is doing the same thing. So we trying to do something different. It's gonna take time. That's all. That's all I tell you.
Yeah, absolutely right. It is gonna take time, but there's there's so much that could be. There's just so much that could be said about this. There's so I just want to find a way to help and maybe get our voices out there heard for those people that are truly on board with what's happening with us and have a concern for us as a people, have a concern for our young ones, our youth. I want to say from 18 to, I'm gonna honestly say 30 are completely lost. I really do. I do believe that some of them are lost and they have lost their way. Sheryll, hi. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes, I can.
How are
Can
you?
you? I'm great. I am well.
Well,
How you
glad to
doing?
How
have
you
you on
doing?
board.
How you doing?
This is Larrington. Larrington,
Hi,
this is
Larry.
Sheryll.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, Sheryl?
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
So before we go any further at this one, Sheryll, please go ahead and introduce yourself, your credentials, and who you are. And I know you know what the topic is, then maybe give a little brief statement on how you feel about what's going on right now, current events, the killings here in Georgia, the little girl, and the other situations. Also in New York, there's been a host of them.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. First off, I am Sheryll Roberts. I am a certified Christian counselor. I have been a counselor since 2015. My specialty is sexual assault, domestic violence, but I also, counsel other people and other problems. So, but that's my main thing. And what's going on? It's really sad. And I try not to watch a lot of news because it can get to a place where it's too much. And so I try to, detach myself sometimes because it's too much. So, but I think there is a need for a conversation for people to have, because there's a lot of hurt that we as a people have gone through. And so instead of talking about it, we take action, but in the wrong way. And so I think we as a people need to have a conversation and actually listen to people.
Right.
Instead of getting upset and going off, and we have to learn to listen and not just respond because you can, have a listening ear. And I think that's a lot of people of color. That's our problem. We don't want to hear. We just want to pop off. But
we listen to respond, not to understand.
Right.
We listen to respond.
And I think we just need to just have a conversation and hear people, people out, because there's a lot of hurt. So instead of getting help for that hurt, they go out and hurt other people. And so I think, we just need to start listening and finding out the root cause of why people are reacting or doing certain things.
Absolutely right. I agree 100%. 100%. I agree. And that's why I said we need healing. And that's why I wanted you on here. And maybe we can take some steps that could help with that healing, things that we can do as a community here, everywhere, here in Atlanta, in New York with Larrington, and what him and Rob are doing are amazing. In New York with the community activism in their communities. And I really want to get more hands-on with what's happening in Atlanta with our youth. I mean, I've seen so much. It breaks my heart. Someone told me I was an empath. I never heard that before. I know the word, but I've never heard that about myself. But things affect me too deeply. Too deeply sometimes, where I lament, I worry, and I'm concerned, and I try to figure out ways. But I think the best thing is prayer for me. Prayer and understanding that people get things in their own time. In their own time. And sometimes when it hits home, that's when you're affected the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I lost a nephew to gun violence about 2 months ago in South Carolina. So it hits home, and it just like, I feel like, what are we doing? What is wrong? What is wrong? What steps can we take? What do I need to do for y'all to hear us? And I'm not the solution to the problem. I just want to be part of a solution. If I'm making sense, I want to know what part can I play, to make things better, because everything is not fun and games. Social media is great, but for me, the realness of it hits home. I have children, I have granddaughters. Imagine that these people just, with a makeshift barricade, they were just trying to turn around. And because they went through that barricade, it's the situation July 4th here in Atlanta on University Avenue, where the George Floyd monument was. And they were just trying to turn around. But there were some people there that made that their domain, and they was going to secure it by any means necessary. This is my understanding, by any means necessary. So you see a Black family and you see them going through the barricade, the barricade shouldn't be there. They need to turn around to go home. So I don't know what transpired. I don't know if there's a conversation. I don't know nothing. All I do know, you open fire on a car of your own people, but you're screaming Black Lives Matter. That's what boggles my brain. That's what gets me to my soul. I want to punch you in your face right now. That's how I feel. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then child life is lost because of that behavior. So what did you accomplish? All you did was prove other people's point. All you did was co-sign their BS. That's all you did. So like I said, we doing 10 steps forward, and then we got these knuckleheads taking us 9 steps back, and I'm trying to understand. So you can't keep screaming all this. You can't. I may not be liked for what I'm saying, but that's how I feel. You can't say Black Lives Matter only when a person of another race hurts us. You can't do that. You're not playing fair. I'm sorry, Elle. I know I'm just real passionate about this topic.
Listen. You go, girl. You go. You go. I'm listening. I'm listening. Is in your heart? I'm listening. I'm not mad. You keep going. Get it out. You get it out. You need to get it out. So get it out.
We can't be those type of people. Like, pretty much half of y'all are defeating the purpose of what other people are trying to do. The other people that before us tried to do. You're defeating the purpose. And then you're wondering why they look at us like animals. And you wonder why they say, well, how dare you say Black Lives Matter? And you just gunned down a 9-year-old girl in the back of a car. How dare you say Black Lives Matter? It only matters when we kill y'all. I'm not saying it's right. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying is right. I'm not saying any of those things. What I'm saying is we have to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we do as a people. So we need to learn how to heal. And we need to start focusing on things that happened to us somewhere down the line 400 years ago. Not even so much, because civil rights is only what's that, Sheryll? 50 some odd years ago? Civil rights. The right to vote. There's so much. It's just so much. I tell y'all, it boggles my brain. I sit there and I cry, because it's like, if y'all already knew what it was like 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago, when we moved from the Bronx to Long Island in 1970, whichever, we were the first Black people in school. We were picked on. My sister had to fight. I had to fight. We had to protect each other. We were called everything but the child of God. All kinds of niggas and this and that. And we held our heads high, like my mother said, and we kept pushing. At the end of the day, people, the younger generation, I personally feel, forget or don't really acknowledge all that was laid in stone for them to do better. Not saying they still don't have those issues, but not coming up against racism, systematic racism, all of it, economic on equality. I'm not saying we're not having those things, but it's a little bit better than it was before. So there's a lot of college students I know from Clark, Atlanta, Georgia Tech. They're the same age as the ones I'm talking about that are doing the tutoring, that do take their stand and do the right thing, but there's not enough for me. I want so much more to be done. And that's why I'm on here, y'all. I know I'm long-winded right now, but I'm passionate about it because that baby losing her life didn't end. That wasn't the only murder. I want to say murder because you pop on fire, there's no need to pop off a gun. You know, I don't know. Somebody help me out because I'm in my feelings right now.
Oh no, and your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. And that's what
I'm gonna say this. It's hard to fix years of this way. I told my son, I raised my son, but I didn't raise my son. I bought what he needed. I spanked on his hand, but then
Hello?
Austin.
Al, where'd you go?
He disappeared.
Yeah, girl, this is so much. It's just so much for me. I have something else I want to talk about. I'm gonna just pause for a minute because I really want to get Elle's opinion. And so during the show, we do current events. So Sheryl. So there's a couple of other things I really wanted to talk about. Before he gets back on, or while he's getting back on, really quick, I want to throw this question out there to you, Sheryl, and also to anyone else who's watching. Kanye West running for president. Sheryl,
really?
Girl.
I thought it was a joke at first.
This man is nuts.
And I'm thinking, what do you have to? How are you gonna?
That's as messed up as my bun right now, Sheryl. My bun is a mess. That's how I feel about Kanye West. Like my bun, lopsided. But it's just,
I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, girl.
I didn't hear. Because I was reading it, and I'm thinking, okay, people are just like making a joke or whatever. And then I was like, Kanye, really? So now you're running for president? You were just having Sunday services and stuff, and that stopped. And now you want to run for president, and Kim is going to be first lady.
But listen, let me tell you how. See, there goes my mind. It just goes to show and prove that at this current time, the United States is a joke.
They're making it a joke.
It's a joke. That disaster sitting over there in the White House, that's just a disaster. Sitting over there in the White House. So this clown, and I'm sorry, whoever voted for him, too bad, this is how I feel. This clown sitting up there, so it's just like saying, well, shoot, if Donald Trump could be president, well, Kanye said, well, why not? Exactly. I might as well run for president too. But look how other countries are looking at us like, my God.
Yeah.
My God. We might as well go ahead and
what are they going through? I mean, like,
they lost.
Like, what's happening?
Listen, if my background wasn't so sketchy, I might throw my hat in the ring. What the hell? Why not? Right? He's like, no, girl. But
I'm past the age, but I'm saying, I mean, come on. Jeez.
And the thing, you have a couple of people backing him, Elon Musk, some other, people with money, but it's just a game. To me, it's just a game now.
Yeah.
It's just a game. We're going to take us seriously. If Kanye with Anthony, yeah, you're right, babe. They are laughing at us. Absolutely right. They are laughing at us as the country, like, look at these fools over here. This, to me, it's like prime time to come in and do whatever you want to this country, but they are a mess.
Because they have a 5-year-old in office now. So I mean,
5, that's a toddler. He functions on nothing but emotions, temper tantrums and emotions.
How does a president who's supposed to be taking care of the world and you tweeting? That's all you do is tweet.
Temper tantrums. The CNC, what is it? CNN makes you mad. Fox News makes you mad. You go on a tangent.
Fake news.
Just going off on people. You know, you go a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old. It's crazy. Did you hear about the book that his niece is writing about him? His niece already wrote the book, actually.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard about it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
How that going to turn out?
Girl, I don't even know. I have no idea how that's gonna turn out, but I'm totally taken aback by all of it. Come on, Larrington, let's go. Hold on, add to stream. Yeah, Kanye West wants to run for president. L, how you feeling about that, friend? It feel as twisted as this bun. You don't keep reverting back to this bun, y'all, because I'm looking at myself like this. Sheryl, you see me?
You cute, boo. You cute.
I'm excited. But anyway, L, Kanye West.
My phone. It's echoing. Wait a second.
Kanye West is running for president, y'all, and nobody has nothing to say about that.
It's ridiculous. Well, that's all I got to say.
It makes us look bad as a country. I don't vote for religious reasons, but I would never vote. I would never vote for Kanye. I would never vote. Hi, baby. Okay. Now you're not. Now you're gone.
Lost them again.
We lost you again. We lost you again. Sheryl, so the next show, and I want you guys to you keep leaving us.
I'm here.
Dude. I see you. How you feel about the president? Do you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
How do you feel about Kanye West running for president?
I see you, but I barely see you talking.
Dude.
Hello?
Okay. I have you on. I have your mic on. You can't hear me still?
You hear me?
We hear you fine. We hear you fine. Can you hear us?
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh my God. All
right. Kanye West running for president. How do you feel? Yes. Can you hear me?
I'll be honest. It's breaking up real bad.
What is that noise in the background?
I'm gonna say my part. Okay, my son, because I can't really hear you, so I'm gonna say my part. My son, he came out to be pretty good, you know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact that I wasn't a bad father, I wasn't the best father. It could have been worse. It could have been worse because I was in the streets a lot. I gave him what he want. He had to do right in school, but I didn't really raise them. A lot of things my pops instilled in me. I didn't do that. So what I'm getting at is, due to the jail, the kids going to jail, parents going to jail, and not raising kids and all that. So sometimes there's a problem.
Lost you. That's your connection. That is your connection. I really want to hear what you have to say. Are you on a new device?
I don't know what this fucking.
Huh? Why are you outside though?
I came in the house. Make you see me better? You hear me better?
I see you. I hear you. Can you hear us clearly?
I hear you clearly right now. I came inside.
You can.
So it's probably better now, right?
Stay inside, baby. Stay inside.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because it keep going out. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so let me finish the story. So the thing is with me is I wasn't a bad parent, and I just realized that, you know, a lot of parents, mostly guys that was in the street, they couldn't raise their kids, go to jail, do 5 years, do 8 years, in 3 years. And then when they come home, they run home to do the same thing while the kids growing up each year with no parent. So when they ain't growing with no parent, what do you think will happen? The kids run through the streets. And the kids run the streets, they run to whatever is popping at the time. In our era, well, I know my era, it was a little different because, you know, a lot of things we didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have back then was beepers. We didn't have cell phones, so our time was occupied a little different. Now that our time was occupied so much different, and the media is so different, and the things you see on TV is different, it takes a toll on every little kid. And oh my God! Basically I'm saying is I know the bad thing about it. I blame a lot on some parents. Not every parent, some. Because I wasn't the best parent myself.
Right. But here's my thing. There you go. I lost you again. I don't know what's going on with your jump off, puppy, but I'm gonna need you to come on now. I understand what you're saying on that part, Elle. I really do. I just feel, my personal opinion, as a person, okay, these children go through these things. Their parents have gone through those things. And I know it's a cycle. I do understand that 100%. And I learned from reading, I read 2 of your books already, Sheryll, just to let you know. Did you hear me, Sheryll?
Yes.
I do understand from reading that it's hard to break those chains. But that's when you find your voice. Because there comes a time as you get older and you mature that you know what's right and what's wrong, irregardless of where your people have been. There comes a time in your life, like with my daughters. I'm going to give a perfect example. My daughters could, let's just say from 13, I'm going to give them to 25, maybe 30, tell me I'm the reason, not even 30, I'm the reason XYZ. I'm going to hold that. Because I wasn't the best of parents because of my past situation, my past life, my growth, my growing up, my background. But there comes a time when you got to hold yours. There comes a time when you have to, in my opinion, that you have to be responsible for what happens in your life going forward after you know better. Mm-hmm. Once you know better, you do better. You cannot continuously blame that parent for your actions at this point in your life because you know better. That you can use it as an excuse because you don't want to change. But that's all it is an excuse. Thank you, Sheryll. Did I read your book?
Well, I mean, me personally, I don't.
That's my opinion, Ellen. I'm not saying it for you personally. I'm not saying it for you personally. That's my experience personally with my daughters. It was a rocky road. But I had to get past the guilt and own the fact that I've changed and I'm a hell of a lot better than I was. And have them learn to deal with who they are as women. Mm-hmm. Because now you have children. So now are you going to have your children constantly throwing and put you on guilt trips because of the mistakes you made at 17, 18, 19, 20 years old? You can't. I was a baby having babies, to be quite honest. So you can't continuously hold that against a person. You have to hold your own, understand what part you play in decisions that you're making as an adult. That's my take on stuff. You know, people can disagree and that's okay. But that's what worked with me and my understanding of my interest. They own who they are. Some of the issues that they have may be long lasting, and I do understand that, but they're doing the best they can with that knowledge. And seeking help they need to seek for that and dealing with me and asking me questions. But that's growth. That's growth. And as parents, we have to be open. We have to say, yeah, I effed up. I messed up big time. I messed up. And I have an opportunity for myself to do better by my grandchildren, which I do my best to do. You know, So I just say, any parent out there that's been through a struggle, been through something, had an addiction, whatever it is, you cannot continuously wear that guilt. But that's like an X-ray blanket. You don't know how hard, heavy an X-ray blanket feels on you. Once they put that X-ray thing on you, like, ugh, you can't walk around like that.
Yeah.
You cannot walk around like that. You got to lift that burden. That burden's not yours to bear once you have absolution from the man above and you have changed. Now it's your turn as adult children to do better for yourself and for yours. That's just me. I'm gonna shut up now because I know I'm long-winded. Because
Oh, you said a whole
What is
lot.
it, Sheryl?
You said a
I'm
whole
honest.
lot.
I'm honest with it. I can't be nothing but honest with what I got.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you're right. At some point, you know, you're gonna have to stop blaming other people for what your life is, where your life is going. Because now that you're an adult, you're starting to make decisions for yourself.
You have choices.
So, you know, at some point, that blame game has to stop. As long as you have asked God to forgive you, and whoever you have wronged, you've talked about it and asked them to forgive you, then it's time for you to move on.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right, Sheryl. You're right.
Okay.
I have a comment from Dee. Hey, Dee Dee. I'm sorry. One question. Dee Dee, thank you so very much for always tuning in and adding your voice to the platform. So Dee Dee says, too many parents are trying to be cool with their kids rather than teach them morals and self-respect. There used to be a code people live by. Now it's like anything goes at any time, any place. How y'all feel about that? I agree.
Well, I did feel about it. I'm not cool with my kids. I'm not cool at all.
You know?
They know it already. I talk to them. I just don't play that game. And I don't blame myself a lot of times. Well, I'm just saying what I did wrong, but I tell a kid, I talk to my son. I says, and anybody don't talk to your kids. I said, listen, this is what I did wrong. If I wasn't there this certain way, if I wasn't there that way, I apologize. But you grown, and now it's time for you to do something different. Don't make the same mistake I made. If you have a kid, I do that. But what I'm saying is, how many parents do that? Or how many parents, kids had a chance to do it and the parents 90 days in jail? That's what I'm saying. Some parents not even here.
Yeah. But again, still, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
You can't teach kids guidance. You can't teach guidance if you never taught guidance. You say you're right. Kids be grown, but they don't know. They still a kid minded. So I get what you're saying. It's true. But if you're a kid mind,
yeah, man, the immaturity level to the roof. I get it. Yes.
Because think about it. It took me to where I'm at right now to be 40-something years old to learn some things at 40 years old in counseling to get where I'm at. Now, picture me 20-something years old at nothing. Reason why I understand my father, I talked to my father and I asked him, you were born in 1923. So I did this research on my father and I did research in 1923 how he was raised. I did that. Now, my brothers did it. There's 13 of us. I'm the one who did it. So it's a difference. It's a difference in what you want to be, or how you want to grow in yourself. I want to get better every day. That's just me. That don't mean my brother might think it's good. My sister might think they're good, and that's what it is. But with the youth thing, I'm just trying my best to. If I can save one life or two life, I feel good.
Yeah,
that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I get that.
If somebody get it, I feel good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I get that. Damn, Elle, that's a good point. That's a good point. So what do we do? Like, Sheryl, what would you suggest we do to raise more awareness in our voices to what's happening right now? Like, what do we do?
You know, the protests, I mean, when it's done correctly, I think it's getting, you know, it has gotten a lot of attention, people's attention. It's just those who are not there for the right reasons always seems to alter what we're out there for. And so, but I think the protests, raising your voice, that has been a big, stepping stone, because you see now that other parts of the world is like, seeing what we've been trying to convey for years. But but that's a start. And then also just, I think, prayer and just turning back to God.
Yeah, I think that's what's missing. I think that's what's missing. What's that scripture, Sheryll? 1 Timothy 3. Men will be lovers of themselves.
Oh, please.
That's not one of my favorite scriptures. I really do think that I'm not here to promote anybody do this. Everything. Knowing that we are powerless over certain things, I think is key. Knowing that we need God in our life is key. Knowing that without Him being in our life, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. I don't care how many people serve. I don't care how many people run for president. I don't care. Right now, God is crying in my eyes.
Yeah.
Literally crying for what is happening. For what is happening, because I don't believe that He gave up His Son for this. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not.
I don't believe that. And my partner and I, Aunt and I, we've been talking about that, being more in tune. I'm spiritual, he's spiritual, being more in tune, being more appreciative, allowing ourselves to be led by Him. Because sometimes we forget that, who we are, where we are, is not just only our making. There's gifts. God put gifts in men. There's platforms, and there's, that we have, that we can utilize that space to maybe say something, to just remind people, like, we're not doing this. We're not in this by ourselves. Sometimes we need to sit back and let God direct our steps, and He'll direct us the right way we need to go. But you got it. You get it? Second Timothy 3.
Is it 2 Timothy?
1 Timothy 3:16. Men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, unruly, poor. And this is all I'm seeing. This is all I'm seeing related to that scripture. This is all I see. Lovers of money, haughty. I should have pulled it up. But that's one of the best scriptures that reminds me, like, slow down. Slow down. Do not be a part of this. Slow down. And sorry, I was reading a comment. I just really, I'm wondering, like, what is it going to take for us as a people to remember that? I mean, because as Black people, we're very spiritual people. We're God-fearing people. Where did we slip off? Where did we fall? Where did we lose our way? What happened? Elle, I see you. What you doing with them hands? You got what you're saying?
Oh no, I'm thinking, because I'm thinking, well, where did we slip off? That's all I'm thinking about. Because when you say a question, I'm always analyzing things, and I'm trying to catch where did we did, and I can't pinpoint right now. Maybe tomorrow, but I can't do it right now, because it's like, somewhere we missed a beat. Somewhere we missed a beat. We skipped something, and I can't pinpoint exactly, and I wonder why I can't. But sometimes, me, I always think about later on and get it later on, and that's just me. I think we missed a beat, and one thing definitely, I just think the new technology altered the home. It was good, but it was a curse too, because now we don't talk like we used to talk. We don't do certain things like we used to do, because everybody's on the phone, everybody's on the internet, everybody's on blah blah, and everybody got to talk.
They don't have dinner,
things, I think.
At the same time.
In my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's just me going on top of my head, because I know for a fact that my son, he'd be like, I'm gonna call you back. I got somebody on the computer. My son like, I'm playing a game. My son be like, so it missed something, in my opinion. But I didn't connect it. Maybe that's one thing. That's what I'm trying to say. I love the internet. I love the thing. You can learn things on it. But in another way, we
lost you again.
I found it. Second Timothy 3. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, have nothing to do with us, such people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you not see that in this system right now? The system of things right now? Do you not see that happening right now?
Yeah.
There's no natural affection. There's no love to take somebody's life so violently and nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Over dumb things. A parking spot, color. My girlfriend looking at me crazy, stepping on my shoes. You understand? It's you know,
wow.
maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I want so much more for us because I know the struggle I had growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if some of these youth could just see what their parents, what their grandparents, what their great grandparents have been through, they may have a more respect for the life that they have. I know it's not easy. I know it's not pleasant. And hell, I know it's not fair. I know that. I know it's not fair. But be the change you want to see, as people say. Toting a gun, I get it. I understand that. To be angry and by any means necessary to protect your space, to earn there's so much of it that I get. And I will stand with you, but there's some things I won't stand for. I'll stand with us as a people with anything. But if I'll check you in my personal opinion, like, come on, y'all, we're doing too good stuff. When do we check each other? When do we, my man back on the phone, when do we check each other and say, come on, y'all, don't give these people more ammunition. And then if you do say that, if you stand up and say that, then you siding with no, I'm not siding with anyone. I'm siding with you. I'm all for you. You know what I mean? I'm all for you. I just want to see you do better. That's it. And that comes from experience. That comes from knowledge. That comes from being down in the gutter, being through it. There's so much more that we can do. There's so much better we can be as a people. And then also, allowing that mentioned something I found very, very interesting and very true. It stems with the parent. It stems with the parent. Stop. It stems with the parent, and some of these younger parents, I'm gonna say, if y'all, disagree, that's okay too. Children live what they see. If you as a parent is still out there puffing your weed and standing out there and doing all kinds of foolery, what do you think your children are gonna do? What do you think they're gonna put into their children, instill in their children?
A learned behavior.
Right. Learned behavior. So when do we start learning it? When do these parents we got mothers, the early moms. What about the girl who gave up her 7 kids? Anybody see that video?
Huh? When was this?
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I seen it. That hurt my heart too. Yeah, let them mole effers go. They came and took my kids. Inbox me and let me tell you what to do. So they can come and get your kids. I'm tired of all these 7 so-and-so and so-and-sos. I'm 26, 27 years old. I have no kids smoking weed, doing the most. Anybody see that but me?
I haven't seen that.
One here.
No, I ain't see it. I ain't see it.
Yo, I couldn't take it. I just looked at I think who was I speaking about that with? Another young lady of mine. Her name is B. Boss Exclusive. She's a great videographer. We're both talking about, like, she was literally on a live speaking about how they CPS just came and took her 7 kids and how she did a live on purpose so they can see it. They can come and take her 7 children because she's tired of them. She didn't want them mother effers no more.
Wow, wow. So now that's the wow.
So it's crazy.
And I think that we have to figure out why you said she's 26.
26 or 27 with 7 babies.
Why she was sexually active and having kids.
Yes. It goes deeper than
there's always a reason why we do things. And you're 26 with 7 kids, but you really didn't want them. So there was something in you that you were trying to feed as well as trying to feel. Because somewhere in your life you're empty.
Yeah,
you're trying to fill a void.
Yes.
That was somewhere taken. You know, from you. It's like.
Really quick. So Dee Dee said that was her being sarcastic. Someone accused her of having 7 kids and getting them taken. Hold on. Getting them taken, so her dumb self made a live playing along. I don't know, Dee Dee. I don't know if that was true. I believe that happened. Hold on. I have Boss Lady. Hey, B. She said, we lost connection and respect for ourselves. This new generation has very minimal respect for their elders. That's a big problem. They weren't raised with the morals and values we were. We got to bring real respect back. Thank you, B, and thank you for coming on the show. I love you, girl. Thank you so much. Dee Dee, I'm going to look into that further because I seen that live, and she was on there talking about, and if that was sarcastic, if that was her playing a game or some type of host, she needs her mind checked. She needs to see somebody.
Yeah.
She needs to see somebody. I know what she did say, Dee Dee, was like, I purposely did the first live, not the one that you and I are talking about, Dee Dee. She purposely did the first live because she knew that somebody would notify CPS and that they would come and take her children. So on the live that I saw, she said, yeah, girl, they came, they got these kids, such and such and such. But here's the excuse my expression, y'all, because I hate the curse, but I'm sorry, here's the fuckery. Her friends said, well, how'd you do that, girl? Tell me how that, I want to get rid of these mother so-and-sos. So she says on the live, well, DM me, whichever, I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you what I did. As she's smoking weed, clapping her hands and happy that she ain't got not near one of her children. I was floored. I was like, I was floored. Like, floored. How are you going to feel 10 years from now, 5 years from now, once you get your freaking mind right, if you choose to get it right? If life makes you get it right, what you going to do? What about those children? How do you think they're going to feel? How are you going to reestablish that connection of that relationship? You're not. Because you literally went on TV and made a point to say, I don't want these.
The cycle. I want some of the cycle. Yes.
The cycle. That's what I'm talking about, El. That's what I'm saying. I get it. I get what you're talking about. So where do you go with this? How does this work? What do we do? Hi, Vicky.
That was Sheryl said. Sheryl said at 26 years old, 27 years old with 7 kids. So you think about it. I said, where she missed something I said, and now she don't want the kids. Now all the kids are messed up. Yeah. She might have more kids after she got rid of them and get rid of them. It's a cycle so crazy. Yeah. And it's hard to change certain people. But that's why I told you earlier, I start with my little nieces, Lily and them. I try to teach them different because they're 6, 7 years old. They're my nieces, but I try to teach them different because they'll be grown, real fast. You know how fast they grow up. But I teach them different, still something different. Maybe they won't make the same mistake as she did. You start young. Your mind is a sponge when you're young. When you get 15, 16, 17 years old, you got too much stuff going on. You got too much stuff. You got the school, you got the girlfriend, you got a boyfriend, movies, party. You got too much. When you're a kid, you got a lot to learn. You can sponge everything up. And that's what I'm trying to teach them now.
Absolutely. It's a learned behavior. When you see stuff, it's like, oh, if they can do it, then hey, why not me? And so it's until people start having conversations and getting educated and actually wanting to be helped and stop, like, because we can be really judgmental. We see people doing certain things, we're like, why are you doing that? Find out why, because there's always a root cause of why you're doing something. So instead of bashing a young girl doing certain things, talk to her. Say, hey, what's going on? Why are you having this attitude? Why are you, having sex?
Yeah.
A lot of times, if people would stop and ask questions and start listening, I think the younger generation would be more apt to talk.
Yes.
And to let people know what's going on. But instead of us listening, we want to bash.
Yes.
We have to change that.
We definitely do have to change that. I really want to go off a little bit. Victoria, hey, Vicky, thank you for tuning in. So Vicky asked a good question. So let me go back down where she is. She says, what is a single mother to do working 2 jobs? Which I get. You're a single mom. You have these children at home. You have to work these 2 jobs. So these children are unattended.
Yeah.
They're unattended. What do you want to do the best? You want to do your best. You want to hope that you instilled enough in your children to do what's right. But society, social media, music, these kids, especially the young boys and girls, to believe that twerking and music videos and all that extra stuff is the way to go. It's the thing to be. So you're right, Vicky. What do we do? What do we say to these children? How do we handle that? Are we supposed to leave a job? Are we supposed to? I mean, what are we supposed to do to help these children, to make sure our children are safe, to make sure that they understand that I'm not out here effing around. I'm out here trying to make a living for us, but this is what I want you to do at home.
And that's the hard part, especially if you don't have like family to help out.
Right. The village.
That's and the mother is actually trying to, do something and make a better life for her kids. And childcare can be expensive.
Yes.
And so, I commend those mothers.
Yes.
I don't have any kids, but having nieces and nephews alone. So I know just to have kids, all the time in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So I commend them, but you just have to find some. I mean, man,
it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
That's the hard
now,
thing.
Like when I was raising my children were latchkey kids. They got dropped off at school. I went to work. They had a key to get in the house. They knew when I came home, have dinner, have your homework done, clean up.
Yeah.
Sound like us. Yeah. I was raised, my children were raised the way I was raised. My mother had 9 of us. 1 passed away. 8 of us.
It was 9 of us too.
8 of us growing up. So my mother had to do what she had to do. So we knew this is what you're supposed to do. My older siblings took care of us, but they just told us what to do, but we knew. So then when the older siblings moved out, we were the last ones, so we knew. Go home, cook, clean, do your homework. I know my mother's going to come home. She's going to go on the couch. She's going to fuss, eat, whatever, go on the couch and go to sleep because she's tired.
Yeah.
She was tired. You know what I mean? But these kids today, like my children got it. They did what they had to do. I know they were the mess. They did their thing. I'll never lie. They put me through some stuff. But at the end of the day, the way they are now compared to these kids now,
yeah,
I couldn't work 2 jobs. I'd have to watch you 24/7 because I don't want TV raising you. I don't want TV raising you. I don't want social media raising you. I don't want videos raising you. I don't want TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and nothing else raising you because I'm going to have a mess on my hands.
Yeah.
Because they believe what they see. Kids believe what they see. They believe it. They want to live it. And it's not real. You know, it's not real.
Well, I say on the two jobs. I know a guy. I forgot his name. I remember he lived in Juanes probably in '92. His wife died. He had 3 kids. He raised the 3 kids, and I watched him in the park after work talk to him. And while he was working so hard, he said he don't get him out of Juanes. They don't live in Juanes no more. He can get him out of Juanes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know the age, but sometimes I put myself in that predicament. If I put myself in that predicament, that means when I could go out, I won't go out. I'll spend time with my kid. I talk to my kid while I'll spend the rest time 1 hour with you because I get some sleep. And it's hard. You're right. It's hard for 2 jobs. It's harder. But one thing I do learn, kids respect once you start talking to them.
Yeah.
And you start explaining things to them, they get it. They get it. They might not get it then, but they get it later. So that's my thing with Lily in Malaysia. They get it with me. They not play no games. Everybody know Mr. Military person. They say so. They don't play that, but they know already. When I talk to y'all, I'm trying to show y'all the better y'all. 2 jobs, sweetie, it's hard. I work one job 10 hours and it's killing me. 2 jobs and with kids, it's hard.
Yeah.
And I think what Sheryl said, like you said, you got family members to help you out because it's very hard. When you want to even hang out and talk to them, you tired. Yeah. You got to sleep.
It definitely takes a village. It definitely takes a village. Victoria said it was very challenging for her. She did the same thing. She did the same with her and her children. She had to set them up, latchkey kids, and make sure that everything was everything. You instill that responsibility, you instill that trust in your children, but you also instill the fear of God, because my kids knew I would jack their whole behinds up if they were ever out of pocket.
Listen.
You know, so I had to instill all that in them, all of it. But I had a village. I had my mother, God bless her. I had my sisters. You know, I had a lot of people that were, you know, for my children. If they weren't for me, they were for my children. You know, so that's a plus for me on that side. You know, but there's a lot of people that don't have that. You know, and that's a caveat that definitely needs to be brought to the surface. There's a lot of mothers out there struggling. There's a lot of mental health issues. There's a lot of drug addiction. There's a lot of abuse. There's so much that comes into play when it comes to a single mother raising children. You know, no one, you know, what I learned is that a lot of women don't truly want to raise their children by themselves. That, you know, we all have that image of, you know, how you wanted it to be with that person who had these children. You know, it wasn't, I didn't plan on not having my children's father in our lives. It wasn't planned that way. You know, I don't ever think it's planned that way. You know, so some people can handle that loss, so to say, and some people can't. You know, and they handle it differently. And then you're constantly trying to find that replacement, trying to find that love, trying to give these children what you didn't have. And then boom, you go into a bad situation. You go into a relationship with someone that may not be the best, but at least, you know, we have our family intact. You know, my children have a mother and father unit. And sometimes it's not always the best because children see more than they need to when it's unhealthy.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true.
I agree.
Hey, Jermaine. Thank you, Vicky. She said you got to start talking when they're young. Absolutely right. I agree 100%. 100%. Jermaine, hey, baby. It starts with doing our best way. It starts with doing our best to raise our kids in a 2-parent household. Yes, Jermaine. Men being present in their children's lives and women not having multiple babies' fathers. I get bad reactions from women when I say this. LOL. The rough patch and people quit on their families. I'm going to put this up here. Jermaine, thank you, because I think it's very, very, very true. And I love you very much. Kiss the babies for me. You're right. We want that 2-parent household. We really do. Women having multiple babies' fathers, it happens, babe. It happens sometimes. Let me tell you something. Women don't go through life saying, well, I want this color baby for this baby, this color man for this baby. I want this type of man for this baby. It happens sometimes. Not saying it's right, but it happens. Not saying it doesn't add a bit more difficulty. But it does happen, and that's called life, my love. It's called life. Now, what matters is what you do with that situation. It really matters what you do with that situation, because sometimes there's no play. Not sometimes, most times there's no playbook on how to be a parent. There's not. I haven't seen a book yet that touches on every type of situation that affects us as a people, anybody, when it comes to having children and raising a family. The only good book is the Bible, and unfortunately, not too many people want to go by that. But that's a whole other topic in itself. So I do understand your point, man, and that's why I put it up here, because a lot of people feel that way. And it does start with doing our best to raise our children in a two-parent household. But sometimes stuff happens in life.
Right.
But you are really bad, and I love seeing you with your babies. So thank you for tuning in. I loved hearing that man's perspective. Please tune in and continue chiming in what not done yet. Anybody else? What y'all want to say about this?
I'm reading Heather's comments.
That's right. That's my girl. Hey, girl.
And she said, but also, can we talk about the men who contribute to the multiple baby fathers? They play a role too. It's not always the women.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're right.
They have dads out there.
Yes, you're right.
Right. They just dropping off.
Yes, you're right.
They just,
I see
making the
yes, you're right.
North Carolina, Jersey, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn.
Like the guy
Like
with
the
well,
how many?
I can't find about that. The
He had
problem, oh my
37
God,
kids or something.
What you say?
She right.
The guy that was on Ayana.
I said she's right.
Ayana Van Zandt? Yeah. So at this, we all are responsible for the roles we play. Because let me tell you something, and I know all y'all know this. These children are not responsible how they came into this world. It's not their fault.
Nope.
It's not their fault. That's why there's a thing called contraceptive, birth control, rubbers, condoms, magnums, whatever the heck you want to call them, utilize them.
Right.
Utilize them. Stop blaming the mama. Oh, she should have known, and stop blaming the dude, but he didn't. Be responsible for your own body. Be responsible for your body, people, women and men. You don't want no kids, dude? I don't like hitting it raw. Sorry, I'm gonna keep it official. It's my mouth. Well, you know what?
No,
you know what happened 9 months later? Big possibility, you got a baby on the way.
Right.
I want to have this man's baby because I want my baby. Now you got the baby, but you don't have the man, sugar. Now what you gonna do? Be responsible for your body. Be responsible how you use it. Be responsible how you utilize it and who you give it to. Everybody's not worthy of your temple, men or women. Men or women, everyone is not worthy.
We need to be taught that because, from my experience, being raped at a young age, I felt like, my body was trash, so anybody could have it. So until I, dealt and got healed from that, now I know my body is valuable, but a lot of young girls, they're not taught that. And so they're going to continue to just, do whatever to make them feel good. And so we need to, as adults, start talking to these young girls and letting them know, hey, you don't have to do that. Take pride in who you are. And so
that's right. And that's another lesson.
It's a continued cycle.
It's another lesson and a great topic that I really would like to delve into more. Vicky hit it right on the head. Like I said, it's not planned that way. She said,
Right.
I waited to get married before having my second child and still ended up a single parent. Definitely not what I wanted or planned. You're right, Vicky. You're absolutely right. It's not planned. These things in life happen. They happen. It is what we do after the fact, you know. People fall in love a lot. We love. Love is an action word, but we utilize that word way too much. I mean, my personal.
We lust.
We lust
first.
Come on, Elle. We lust like mofos.
We don't listen to that. We think we lust first. Then we think we love, or we think we love the person, but really you don't know you love the person, but you don't know the person. That's so how you love them, you don't know them.
Right. It's lust. It's because it's visual, it's physical. Let me tell you something. I fell in love for the first time. I think I was 16 or 17 years old. But it was love for me. I have a daughter. Her name is Chanel. She's amazing. She's beautiful. I think I actually, truly, honestly fell in love. I don't know. Knew love for what it was 20 years later. 25, 30 years later, to be honest. My husband who passed away. That was love. That was true. I really, through all my ups and downs and everything that I have been through in life, I realized that I cannot and have not utilized the word I love you in a very long time. I can't, because I know what that word entails. And if I'm not ready to give that, and at one point in my life, absolutely was not ready to give any of that, because I wasn't in love with me yet. So if I'm not in love with me, there's no way in the world I can be in love with you. There's no way, because I don't even love myself. So it took a whole lot of living, a whole lot of growing, and a whole lot of understanding what that word love actually meant. You know, and I think my husband passed away 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. That's when I really realized what love was, that relationship. And that was in my 40s. So it took me from 17, 18 years old to 40 to really know what that word meant. The weight of it, the realness of it. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we take that word and we run with it because we think that's what people want to hear. I cannot tell you I love you unless I love you.
Right.
You know, I have love for people on this panel. I love everything about you, Sheryll. Elle, you're my person. I got mad love for you. And I think people confuse that word, and it's a big word, and it's an action word, and it's a word that holds responsibility and weight.
Yeah, they use it loosely.
Go ahead, Elle.
Oh, me? Well, love. I mean, I can love you. I can love you, but the difference is being in love with you. It's a difference. I can love you, but the big difference is being in love with you. Now, I'm telling you, when I was in love with my wife and I seen a whole difference, I didn't think I could eat. It's a difference. I can love you until you go special to me. Being in love with you will twist you up bad. That's a different ballpark. So I can love you and love everything about you, but for me to be in love with you, that's the step with me. I don't. It's hard to get in love with people with me. Yeah. Because I internalize things. I internalize things too much for myself. But I think you're a good woman. I can love you and everything that. But when I fall in love with you, I mean, I wish you to ground you.
That's the game changer. Yeah, it is. That's true. That's very true. There's a lot of comments. Heather, thank you so much. Cycles. I know I'm going back and forth, but I'm trying not to miss nobody. You hit on so many points, Sheryll, that there's comments coming here. Heather, cycles need to be broken. It's not okay for the woman to take the blame alone when it's more than one child or one baby's father. Absolutely. Excuse me. So thank you for that, Heather, because that's absolutely true. Jermaine is back on. Thank you, Jermaine. Heather also said, let me go back, guys, sorry. She said, thank you for sharing. That's so true. When we are violated at a young age, Sheryll, it teaches us to hate ourselves. Absolutely. So that's very valid. But definitely going to have Sheryll, I'm going to just bring it up now. I definitely want to come back because you were on my show in the very beginning when I first started. and we really didn't get to the meat of it.
Yeah.
And I really want you back for that, because there's a lot of women I know personally that have been through some things.
Okay.
Really been through some things, and I really want you on here for that forum, please.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Heather, for doing that. And a lot of self-loathing it's big. People don't acknowledge it. People don't want to recognize that there's self-loathing. I love myself, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't, because there's a whole lot of past, and there's a whole lot of things we've done that we're not proud of. And as much as we say I love myself, still in the back of your head, for instance, still in the back of your head, it's like it's some things you just won't do with your mate because stuff from your past. There's something you allow your mate to do or say to you because some things in your past. So they definitely play a part in how we're moving right now today, even though we're past that point in our lives. But it has an emotional scar. It leaves an emotional scar, and sometimes it leaves us stunted. And we don't want, some things we just can't get past, or there's some things you can't say to me. There's some things I just won't do. I'm not doing that. Don't ask me. You don't need to know why. But yeah, they do. Your mate does need to know why.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So
it has to be a conversation. If you're going to be in a relationship,
it has to be real. Yeah, it does. Jermaine, thank you, Maine. I would love to have you on the show. I wish more people would have this conversation. I do too, Maine. I really do too, Jermaine. I really do. And I think that you're on here, and I know you have a lot to bring to the table. I love you dearly. Jermaine's my nephew, guys. He's an amazing father. Amazing father. He has 2 daughters. He has 1 son. And he's an amazing, amazing young man. I love you dearly, and thank you for tuning in. Let's see, where else are we? Thank you, Vicky. Thank you so much for that. I do. I want to get back to them. Also, come to find out with StreamYard, we have 4 hours. I know we're not going to go 4 hours, but I always thought I had to cut it down in 2. But we don't have to. If you guys want to continue to conversate, we can. There's so much I want to talk about on this show. I'm looking at another comment. There's so much I wanted to talk about with you, Vicky, and with you, Elle Larrington, especially with you, because you come from a whole different spectrum. And sometimes you give me food for thought, because you pinpoint things I miss that I wouldn't think of. And that's why I love having you on here. You're raw and you're real. You're real. I've never seen you this quiet since we started, though, bro.
Couldn't hear that last one.
I said I've never seen you this quiet since we started the show.
Yes, I know. I was so happy that you let me join along. I was like, "Oh, you want me to go to this show? Thank you." Listen, I told somebody the other day. I said I never did a podcast, but I said, me personally, I love learning things. I'm an outside box person. So anything I'm not good at or I'm not the best at, I want to do it. I want to make me better. So if I get better, I can help someone else get better and show them how to do it. So I'm loving this. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do this.
I appreciate a male perspective. I do. And you're welcome. And I love this conversation. So those who don't know, Larrington and I have been friends for a long time.
Long time.
Long time. And he's a voice of reason for me, whether he knows it or not. He's a voice of reason for me. He's a very kind, loving young man. And he has a lot to say and a lot to give. And I just love having you here. I do. I look forward to hearing what you have to say every week.
Thank you.
Every week. So let's get back to the topic.
No, I'm about to leave because
really?
I gotta get up early tomorrow, go to work, and I'm tired now. Okay. But ladies, I appreciate Sheryll. I want to talk to you more because I don't think you have a lot, and you didn't give a lot tonight.
Sheryll, right?
Most interference. So I want to definitely come back. Sheryll, I want you to come back. I want to talk more to y'all. But right now, I got to go and get some sleep. So ladies, And people, thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you later on. Simone, I'll call you tomorrow. All right?
Yes. You have a good night. Have a good day at work tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night. All right. So Sheryll, I know you had a long day as well. I could talk to you forever. When I tell you, if you guys have not read any of Sheryll's books, I have. They're heartbreaking, but informative.
Yeah, it's
informative.
Story has to be told, but you know, I'm grateful for the story.
Please tell them the names of the books.
My first book is From Victim to Vessel, Pushing Through Pain to Walk in Purpose. It's my story of overcoming childhood sexual abuse, what I had to go through to get to where I am today. It's a lot of my story, but not everything is in there because, you know, it's a lot. But
a lifetime of pain.
Yeah. But I'm grateful to God for what I went through because it made me who I am today. And so I give God all glory because He's the one who healed me and is doing amazing work in me. So I owe it all to Him. And that's my first book. The second book is My Body's Not Your Playground. It's a children's book. A lot of parents don't know how to have the conversation with their kids about sexual abuse. So the book is a tool to kind of have that open conversation and have the kids to ask questions. And even the parents can ask questions to their children. And so it's called My Body Is Not Your Playground. It's a story about a little girl who was molested but found her voice to tell somebody, something that I didn't do as a child. I told my story when I was almost 30. And so it's a book just for kids to know that they too have a voice. And if they're ever being violated or ever being said to inappropriately, you know, they have a right to protect their body at all costs. And so to convey that in this book, to use their voice, regardless of who it is. And so you can find all of those books on Amazon.
Yeah. I want to talk about that really quick. I read those books. We read one for kids. Because we all go through things in life. I want to say, I just lost my train of thought. There's so much in me. I wanted to say that those scars are very, very hard to heal. And for myself, I don't know anyone about anyone else. Hard to heal. And when you think that you have conquered those demons, there's things that happen, or the situations or relationships you get in life where you realize that demon is right there. Because in all honesty, you have not addressed that. You stuff it. You stuff it. I used to say that I have a treasure chest here. Stuff it in there. And I leave it there. I just put it in there. And I leave it there because those are the things that I can't. That's the only word I can think of. I can't.
Yeah.
It's nonverbal. Understand? Like, there's no words for me to express what happened. So I want to put it in here. I just can't right now. But it manifests itself in such a way that it affects your whole being.
Absolutely.
Everything. How you view yourself. What you accept. What you allow. Who you love. How you love. And how you respond. And your love language.
Yeah.
So that thing right there encompasses your whole world, your whole being. And until you get rid of that, and it's for me, I've come to learn, for me, until I get rid of some of those things, and I could never love someone totally. Because there's always this back here in the back of your mind. There's always that thing.
Yeah.
There's always that thing. So I had to come, personally, I had to come to terms with that. Personally, I had to come to terms with it. So I'm slowly but surely becoming vocal on my situation as yours. Slowly but surely.
And that's key.
It's key. It is key.
You have to, I mean, people always have to, they think they have to rush their healing, but it's a process.
It definitely is.
And sometimes it takes other people longer. It took me 10 years to get past all of that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because the healing wasn't there, because God is the one who healed me. It was me. Right. I was holding myself back because I was angry, and and I wanted to hurt them, and and rage. I stopped myself from getting the healing that I needed way before. I mean, because I was holding myself back. God was there the whole time. It was just me. So, but regardless of that, don't try to pressure yourself to be at a certain point.
Right. Yeah.
It takes time.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. I've come to terms with a whole lot of things in my life, to be quite honest. But what I do realize is that there's still some residue.
Absolutely.
How I deal with the relationship I'm in now. There's some residue. And I was like, that wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? Or there's some residue, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because his hand don't call for it. And it's unfortunate that I thought I dealt with it. But again, I have this box that I put things that are hard to deal with in. And every now and again, that box gets overlaid and the top flips open. And it all comes tumbling out.
Yeah.
And that's because some of those things we don't deal with. We think we have, like, I got past that, I'm over that. Shit happens in life. I got to work, it could be worse. But maybe it could be. But at this case and point in time, some of these things are affecting my relationship.
Yeah.
And I had to acknowledge that. I definitely did. I had to acknowledge some of the things that hurt in my relationship. My mistrust. I want to say my mistrust. What else? Domestic violence issues. So there's so much. There's so much that I can go on. Let's straighten it out and talk about. There's so many caveats. There's so many other women and men that have dealt with that abuse and domestic violence. I know a lot of. Trust me. I know women that have abused their men to the 10th power, and all their men do is handle it, because they were raised not to hit their women. And even more so, whatever issues they may have, whatever belief system they may have, doesn't make it right or wrong. That's just who they are, excuse me. So I just, I know we got to wrap it up, but I really, really want to go more and more. And if I can just have you on the show more times than not to address those issues, I really would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Also, if there anyone who's on here tonight, I have a group support group meeting. It's called SWAT, Survivors with a Testimony, and I'm having my first one this Saturday. And so
what time?
At 10 a.m.
Let me put it in here. Hold on. Let me put it. Survivors
with a Testimony, SWAT. And it's going to be private, because a lot of women are still not at the point of sharing it with the world. But I'm going to have other survivors on there to inspire, empower them to use their voice and to just encourage them and let them know that they're not alone and they're not in this thing by themselves. And so if you have any viewers on here tonight who would like to, come on, it's a safe space. There's no judgment. And, we're just going to be on there, just loving on each other and encouraging on each other. So if you have anyone, and I will send you the Zoom information and all of that.
Right. Perfect. So I have very good testimony. Excuse me. This Saturday, what time, Sheryl?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Facebook Live?
It's going to be, no, it's going to be a Zoom. So I'll send you the link. Let me see if I can.
Zoom meeting, I will update with link.
Okay.
By tomorrow? Or
yes. I can. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it to you now.
Jermaine said, I understand my mother did the same. Sometimes things are out of our hands. I was more so talking about the women who have 3, 4, 5, and they know these men aren't shit, but the town baby makers. I'm done with you, Jermaine.
Wow.
I get it, Maine. I get it. The blame definitely, Jermaine also says, the blame definitely goes to both parties, but at some point we have to take heed of the red flags. True story, Jermaine. Absolutely right, Maine. Yeah. Absolutely right. Because right there, Jermaine, that's your choice. It's a choice. You could ignore those red flags because he looks good, got money, X, Y, and Z, but there's always a choice, my love. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just put it in your inbox.
Perfect. I'll put it up there. All right. Okay. So, Sheryll, I want to go ahead and end the show. I want to thank you one more time again. You're always a wealth of information and understanding. And if you guys have not read any of Sheryll's books, please, if you are a sufferer from domestic sexual assault, rape, violence, any of those situations. I also want to say domestic violence because you can relate to everything in her book. You can relate to those feelings. Trust me when I tell you, I read the book. You can relate. Please go ahead. Sheryll, can you type in? I want to know if we
live comments. Okay.
If you good, perfect. If you have not read any of Sheryll's books, please read them. If you are a survivor, how about this? I'm going to keep it official for some of the people that I do know that follow me, that follow, and I have a rapport with, and we have a background together. If you have been under the influence of any type of drug, if you have done things in your life that you are not proud of, there's some things in your life that you have not come to terms with or don't want to divulge, and you're trying to find retribution for yourself. You want to do better for yourself. Read this book. I'm telling you, you need to read the book. Put the titles of the books in there, Sheryll. That first book.
It won't give me the option, only in the private chat.
Shoot. All right.
It gives
tell me
me
the first one.
From Victim to Vessel.
That's the one. That's that book. Y'all need to read that book. I'm telling you. You need to read that book. I read that book. I cried. From Victim to Vessel.
Sorry.
My body is not your playground.
Yes. Both are on Amazon.
That's good for the children.
Yes.
Put that in there, which is good for the children. And Rob, I got your message. I'm sorry I didn't say anything. I understand you had the PTA meeting or board council meeting. I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting us know. Hopefully you'll be on next week. So thank you for that. And again, guys, I'm going to tune out, but from Victim to Vessel, ladies, whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through, read that book. Read that book. To educate your children, to deal, if you are a social worker, if you are a group counselor, anything in the mental health field, or anything in the adolescent field, dealing with children, My Body is Not Your Playground. As a book for children, I read that one as well. Please, she is a wealth. Sheryll is a wealth of information. Reach out to her, utilize her, read those books, give us your comments and any questions or concerns. You can always contact her. I love her title. She's known as the DA Hope Dealer, and I love it.
Thank you,
And you're welcome, and I adore you, and I adore everything you do.
You too. Same here.
All right.
I appreciate you,
So,
for real.
we will catch up because I want you on the next show. We'll talk about what I wanted. I think it's going to be all women related, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And all of you guys who watched and who tuned in, thank you so very much. I always appreciate your love. I always appreciate your support. And I always appreciate your correspondence and your responses to what we have going on. And for us as a people, we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to take accountability for the foolery. Black Lives Matter, not only when other people hurt us, but when we hurt each other.
Yeah.
Our lives matter. Stop the insanity. Stop the insanity. I hope you guys have an amazing night. You stay blessed. Stay prayed up. Read a scripture. Read a scripture tonight.
Yeah.
And say a prayer tonight. I don't care who you believe in. Just choose to say a prayer to someone bigger than yourselves. It's not about us. It's about the man that inspires us. So you guys have an amazing night. Simply Simona, let's straighten it out. You guys have a good night. Bye, my love.
Bye.
Night.